It is Monday, you sassy Finley. It's November 2nd, and we're going to get into stuff with children in here. Ooh, we may do a little bit, never mind. I lied a little bit. We're going to do a little impact learning before we have the library thing, but we'll see. Maybe you guys won't have too much of an impact because you'll not make mistakes. Let's see. Did the library. B points and grades are updated, so if you're wanting to check those, you're more than welcome to. IXL, I've already tortured those kids. That's why you're standing. That's why I tried to tell those of you who are at home children, so that way when you guys end up showing up on Wednesday, I don't have to torture you as much as I'm trying to be nice to you. So that's why I was giving you the heads up that those things are missing. If you're still missing them on Wednesday, then, kids and tears and cookie. And the quiz. So I want to run through and do speedy version of quiz. I think overall you guys did better with this one quiz. I felt a little bit better with it, but we are going to work a little impact learning into it as we do review as we go through, because today is our last day beating similes and metaphors into you. Not your last day getting beat, just your last day getting beat with similes and metaphors. There's a lot of beating still coming. All right. And here we go. So for this one, again, I also figured out, once again, the percentages of which ones you guys did really well on, which ones you guys did not do so well on. So it says, which of the following examples is the strongest simile? So here's what has the whole impact learning thing, if you guys have to be able to agree as a group. We'll do this for the whole day. So in honor of tomorrow being National Voting Day, you guys are going to all work as a team when it comes to today for your impact learning. As opposed to picking on one individual kid, we're going to let the whole class vote on the answers on which you think it should be. As long as you guys all agree, then you should be good. If there's one annoying kid who just randomly yells out the wrong answer to be annoying, I just charge them points for being, that kid. But we'll see how things go. All right. First one, I really like bunny monsters. Does that work as a simile?
No.
Why?
Not comparing.
Nice enough. Home children. If you miss the joy of yelling at me, you get to yell at me for this part too. You can go ahead and unmute and then join in the whole yelling thing, and that's fine with me. We get a chance to bond. All right, I would agree. Stanley runs like a boy. There you go. For all we know, Stanley could be a boy. Although someone pointed out that this year there is a girl named Jillian Stanley. They're like, it could have been Jillian. I'm like, well, it could have been, but it was not. That chair is as comfy as a place to sit.
No.
Is this comparing what?
A chair to another chair.
My fist is like a solid stone?
Yes.
Now, was this an easy question, or we got over 80%, or a tough question, or we went below? You don't have to yell at me, Max. This is where your thumb comes in. It's not my fault you lost your video. All right. You guys say easy? Not bad. 94%.
Oh.
One of our questions. So, it was our highest question. Our lowest question is going to be 50%. Our highest question is 94%. I think we had 3 at 94%. All right. Which of the following is the strongest metaphor? My hair is an ugly dead animal. Is that the best one?
Yeah.
Does this one work? The frogs are small green jumpers?
No.
Same thing. Nicely done. My English teacher is super duper mean?
No.
Just making a statement. Donald is as annoying as a bug?
No. It's a simile.
Nicely done. All right. Easy? Not easy. Oh, you put it right at 80. And wow, you were the closest, 78%. We were just below, never mind. So we were just right at it, so we're right at that one. 3. Both of the 2 words that a simile. What 2 words does a simile have to use?
Like an ass.
So like and as. Here's my question. Was that easy or not easy? And 86%. We did pretty well on that one. So it's not perfect. I agree with you. I don't know how kids missed it either. But apparently kids missed it. Apparently it's a really long word. No, there's 2 letters. I have nothing. It might have. I don't know what to tell you on that one.
What is
this one, similes and metaphors, what are they supposed to compare?
No.
Nouns.
There you go. I took either noun or nouns, either one.
That's what we.
So is it easy or how would you say not so? And one of our tougher ones, 77%. I think what messed people up was the one word answer. A lot of kids wrote in different things. And I'm like, that's not one word. And so that was, again, straight from the notes, but realize some kids wrote nothing on their notes. That makes it a bit of a challenge. too. It is hard to count to one. They get exhausted. That large hairy monkey likes bananas with jelly. Which one would it be? No actual comparison. So here's where we get to find out how impact learning goes.
Yeah.
You guys pick the answer you think it is, which is?
One. The first one.
Just so home people are aware, this is where we're bringing in the impact learning. So if you guys all agree and it turns out to be the right, wrong one, I get to torture you. So let's find out. And I would agree. Is that one easy? Not. 74 and 90%. One of our higher ones. Isn't it fun trying to figure out which ones kids are going to mess up or not? Like, I have no idea.
I know. But
Those other kids. It's always those other kids. Mr. Broviak is an angry, hairless teacher person.
That's the second one. The team nouns.
The two nouns are too similar?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
We agree? Agree. All right. That one easy? Not easy. Easy? No, not easy. And 60%. This was one of the hardest questions on there. What two nouns are being compared?
A teacher and a teacher.
Well, I mean, close. Teacher is actually an adjective.
Oh, and a hairless teacher.
Teacher.
It's like we were in a person. Oh.
So Mr. Broviak and a person is part of the name. If it becomes capital letters, just like Finley Venasiak is all one thing. It has like the capital letters. So in this one, the tree's leaves are curled up tiny fists. What are the two nouns being compared?
Leaves and fish.
Leaves and fists.
Yes.
I would agree. Nicely done.
Why did I put the S and it sounded wrong?
Yeah, because that'd be wrong.
Yeah, but I realized.
I'm not disagreeing. So on this one, easy or Finley? 82%, almost right there, the middle area. My Uncle Teddy is a large hairy bear.
Metaphor.
Yeah.
Metaphor. Metaphor.
No! Yeah, wait, no, because it's
Metaphor, Reno?
Metaphor.
I would agree, it is a metaphor. I have one to freak you out because it was fun. And wait, was that one easy? Not easy. All right, and
Middle.
92%. That was one of the easiest ones on there. My sister Susan is like a silly girl when she dances to that weird TV show.
Neither. Neither.
Why is it neither?
It's not.
All right. I agree. Comparing Susan to a girl, I prepared people to go, Mr. Broviak, Susan could be a boy. That's why I put sister in front of it to try and prevent that issue. I'm like, well, if I put sister, then you can't complain. Oh, was that by easy? Not a waxy middle. Right at 80, easy and 74. That was one of the tougher questions. My math teacher is like an enraged chimpanzee whenever he sees us talk during class.
Simile.
Simile?
Simile, yeah.
Agreed.
Mr. Baker.
It could be other math. Mr. Bainey's also a male math teacher.
Yeah.
And easy, not easy, right? Middle thing, and 94%. Apparently you guys really like hating on math teachers. I think there's three. I didn't memorize. I'm not good at numbers. I knew there was at least more than one.
I don't understand it.
The clown's nose was an apple on his face.
Red.
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 I also accepted
Harry, they're both Harry.
round. I accepted either red or round. Didn't even I was trying to be nice. Red seemed obvious to me.
You were legend if you chose round. Legend
And-
chose round.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. 84, so specific. And 81, you went the wrong way. You went up by 3 if you've gone down by 12. The hair on my arms are like the bristles of an old toothbrush.
That's disgusting.
Arms and bristles.
So arm and bristle.
I mean hair and bristles. Yeah, hair and bristles.
All right. Silent for a moment. My arm got a little twitchy for a second. But apparently, all right, you guys figure it out. Hair and bristles. And that one. We have a lot of struggling on that one.
Probably not, because you thought it was arms. Well, I smoked.
87%, one of our higher ones that we had. You guys were all throwing thumbs down, and like almost every kid got that one.
Yeah, she said arms.
That's all it took. Then the little poem. I'll read the poem to you again. Evil teacher, I stare upon a completely silent room, and pithy eyes follow my every move. English stick of knowledge raised in my hand, one wrong answer and a lightning quick kaboom. A room full of children leaped into the air like popcorn kernels thrown into a hot greasy pan. They thought they knew how school worked, but now they know they are only kittens, and I am a dragon. So as we go through, we have, by show of hands, English stick of knowledge. Which one is we're going for a metaphor? Kittens and dragon.
Yeah.
Completely silent room.
No.
And popcorn kernels.
Oh.
Was that one an easy one? Not easy again. 78 and 60. This was the most missed question on the whole quiz. Wait, no, 50. I apologize. There's one. This was the second most missed question. And on this one, what two nouns are being compared in the simile? Hang on. First off, what is the simile? Nicely on Mina. So the room full of children leap into the air like popcorn kernels thrown into a hot, greasy pan.
Popcorn and
What kind of kernels? What kind of kernels?
Is it children and popcorn?
So popcorn is a descripting word, so that make it an adjective, telling you what kind of kernels. It is. So what would be the two nouns?
Children and kernels.
Children and?
Not kernels.
Is correct. Because popcorn is an adjective telling you more about what kind of kernel.
Would you have got it wrong if you like?
Nope, they count either direction. Was that one?
I did children. No, that was the 50.
Is this the 50?
Yeah.
As opposed to the next one? And you are correct. That was the one that seemed to mess people up. You weren't. And the last one? Which of the elements we discussed below would best describe the end of the unit? I don't know if you guys feel strong on that one. And
It has to be the final up.
nicely done. I don't know if there's 2 or 3. I remember. I won't lie to you. 90. We're going.
93.
Are we above or below 80? Definitely above 80. 74. Not above 80 at all. So again, as you go, I'm not even sure which one you would choose instead of that one. But apparently it was a struggle there. All right. Well done as we got through that one. Again, if you would like to resubmit it, if you got lower than a 22, Owen, you look adorable. You are more than welcome to resubmit it and try to get up to a 22. Now we've given you the answers. If that makes your life better, then I am all for it. Hopefully that helps you out. Let's go to check a thing in the library to see if they're ready for us. Hang on one moment.
When we go, do you have to return our book next year?
You have the book with you.
I didn't watch it because I told you that for the past month. I didn't send it. I just kept it. I didn't even listen to me. Well, mine's driving stuff. I got. I didn't even. I really watch classes on YouTube for entertainment.
As you should.
What?
Home children. So we're getting ready to go over to the library for 15 minutes. 1, 5. So you guys will need to be back. We are going to do, hang on, PJ and Henry. I'm making sure that you're alive. PJ is alive. Then Henry, 3, 2, 1. And then apparently we're going to have to remove Henry. Checking on. Oh. And Henry, we're going to remove Henry, who apparently is a zombie. And could be. Well, whatever he is, he's gone now. All right, let me remove Henry. All right. You are going to need to be back at 2:05. I'm going to be doing video check at 2:05. So you have until then to go chase a chicken or go use the restroom or go grab food or something like that. And then we'll be back 2:05. And hang on one second. I'm going to pause recording. Hey, we're back from the library. What a fun time. Thursday, when we switch, then those of you who are at home, you guys will get a chance to go on Thursday, bring your stuff in. Those of you who are here today, and you're going to be at home on Thursday, you can go get your food during that time or whatever fun and exciting chicken you want to chase around your house or something like that. Now, it's officially going to be time to begin impact learning. So with the big picture, this is our last big similes and metaphors thing before we get a chance to move on from here. Not our last impact learning, just our last similes and metaphor thing. So let's go through and see. I sent out the remind last week that if you wanted to get extra B points, you could email me or turn it on the Canvas, your big picture answers. If you did, then you got extra B points. If I used yours, they're going to pop up on the screen behind me and you got even more B points. As an example, on this first one, that tells you that was a kid in this class whose initials are OR. So as you go through, the number is going to be the class period, and then the letters are going to be the person who did it. And so that way you can sort of an idea of which class period or which kid you took it from and who got the extra points for it. So here's how we're going to do it. Sort of like how we did the quiz thing before. We're all doing it together. So once again, yay for voting. You all get to work as a team to answer. We have the weird man's shirt is like a pumpkin on his body. Is that simile, metaphor, or none of the above? As long as we all agree, then you're good, unless, of course, you all agree and you're wrong. And then again, home children, this is again where you get a chance to join in, because again, if you want to play hard mode, put your headphones in and then crank the volume. If you want to play hard mode, headphones in, crank the volume up. If you want to play extreme hard mode, you want to get the headphones that go over your ears, crank the volume up, and then get an egg and hold it in each hand. And then just sit there like that, and then wait for all of a sudden the explosion to have like, and you can just smash the eggs. And if you can get to the entire thing without smashing your eggs, then that's like winning in super hard mode. All right. You guys said this was a metaphor, correct? No, thought I could trick you. What two nouns are being compared?
Shirt and pumpkin.
Oh, you say man's shirt or shirt?
Shirt.
Oh, I got excited again. Shirt and what?
Pumpkin.
And why are they being compared? They are both
Orange.
You all work together. You're fine. And the trees behind them are skyscrapers reaching up.
Metaphor.
Metaphor?
Yeah.
All right, I agree. Comparing what two nouns? Trees and skyscrapers?
Yes.
All right. And what do they have in common? They are both? Yes. The possum's tail is a snake biting onto his butt. I hear one kind of strong metaphor. I agree. Good job. All right. Comparing what two nouns?
Tail and snake. No, wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Tail
Good.
Tail and snake.
All right, I agree. And why? What do they have in common?
They're both long and skinny.
Nicely done. All right.
I'm deadly.
Well done and deadly. Possum's tail kills no people a year. And I don't know. Well, one said a rat, one said a possum. I don't know what it was. So I was going for possum.
It's an animal.
This one. The grass is as torn up as my dog's favorite chew toy. I hear simile.
Yes. Wait. Yes.
Yes.
Similar.
All right. Comparing what two nouns?
And toy.
What, grass and what?
Toy. It can't be 3 words.
I got excited for a second. And what do they have in common?
They're both tore up.
Nice enough. All right. And the candy bucket is a plump pumpkin hanging from her hand.
Bucket and pumpkin.
Well, first
Oh, yeah.
simile.
Metaphor.
Metaphor?
Metaphor. Wait.
You just doing that just to taunt Graham. Comparing what two nouns?
Bucket and pumpkin.
They're fast to see that. I'm more trouble with that one. Why are we comparing them?
They're both orange. Orange and round.
Let's back up. They're both what?
Orange.
Check. The little vampire is as scary as a harmless baby duck. And your simile? Backing her up on that? Comparing what two nouns?
Vampire and duck.
Duck.
Vampire and duck.
What do they have in common?
They're both.
Say what?
They're both
Harmless?
yellow.
Yellow?
It could be a yellow vampire. Yes, it could be. What if he has a really bad tan?
I hear harmless. Is that what we're going with?
No. They both have wings. They both have wings.
But is that what it's saying?
They're both
The wall behind him is a junkyard of distractions.
Metaphor.
You see neither?
Metaphor. It's another NP.
Well, it should be BH technically. That helps. And I agree.
That might be mine.
It might be. Comparing what two nouns?
The wall and the junkyard.
Wall, junkyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do they have in common?
They're
Both.
messy.
They're both messy.
Feels like you're throwing a little shade at me on that one. The teacher is smiling like a failed macho man.
Simile.
He seems confident. Simile? Now on this one, because they're both capital letters, it counts as one word. And I'm assuming they're referring to like, I don't know, like there's a wrestler named Macho Man. I wasn't really confident. It sounds like a Zach issue from 5th period. What two nouns? And what do they have in common?
They're both smiling.
I like it. They're both macho. Thank you. It feels like you nailed it. That seems like the most accurate one I've seen so far. He is smiling like he just heard a really funny joke.
Metaphor.
Whoa, hang on. I'm hearing metaphor. Hang on. We're going to do it by a show of hands then. Let's see what wins. I'm hearing simile, metaphor, and neither, which seems to be all three of them. So those of you who say neither, raise your hand. And when you raise your hand, it has to go above your head so I can tell. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those of you who say simile, those of you two.
Oh, it's neither.
And then those of you who say metaphor, for those of you who seem to say so strongly it's neither, why do you so strongly feel it's neither? Mara?
No, it's comparing.
You
You
can't
can't
compare
compare
what?
what?
You can't compare
You can't compare what? It's
It's comparing him.
I would agree. It is nothing. It was just one that I thought was written really trickily, and was why I liked that one. And I note that one is nothing at all. That was close. I got all excited for a second. The hamster is as fluffy as a poodle.
Simile. Oh,
that one had like also.
Yeah, but that was. It's a similar.
No, I agree. I was hoping you guys would back out for a second. Comparing what two nouns?
Hamster and poodle.
Hamster, poodle. And why?
They're both fluffy.
Nicely done. The hamster's eyes are two glass beads smashed on its face.
Oh.
I can't see that.
Metaphor.
I hear metaphor.
Wait, no, it is metaphor.
Metaphor.
Neither.
Metaphor.
Beautiful.
Correct. Got it. Comparing what nouns? Eyes and beads. And why?
They're both glass. They're both glass.
No, they're-
Our eyes
they're-
are glass. The hamster might be. They're both smashed.
No, they're both on their
Their
face.
eyes look like beads.
So why are we comparing the eyes to beads?
They look like, they're glass looking like
Have you guys ever seen a bead before?
beads.
What's a bead?
A little thingy for my string.
Nicely done. And so you can't say they're both smashed because beads aren't smashed. They're saying that someone has smashed a bead onto its face.
Well, you can.
So what shape is it?
A circle.
What color is it?
Black.
What texture is it? So it's the fact that it should be shiny, circular, and black on there makes it look like a bead. Not it's smashed or it's on its face. That's not why we would compare the two of them. The hamster's fur was as messy as a visco girl's bun. Although apparently visco was spelled wrong, but I'm not going to judge. And your simile. Yes, no, I.
Simile.
It is a simile. Good job. Comparing what two nouns?
Fur and bun.
Fur, bun. You guys backing that up?
Come on, guys, back me up.
That's
Let's
because it's correct.
go.
And what do they have in common?
They are messy. I was about to say bunny.
What?
A bunny. And the goldfish has whiskers on its face just like a cat does.
Wait.
I hear.
No,
I hear.
so this one is. Here's the layer metaphor. It's a fantasy game. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's a fantasy gold. The goldfish whiskers, the cat whiskers. But they are the
And
They're both whiskers.
we're having an argument now. All of a sudden we got really excited.
They're the same thing. You compare the same thing. It's like thinking a gram looks like a gram.
All right.
I
Doesn't make
Sounds like we're gonna vote. So you're gonna raise your hand on either none or what was the other one? Or metaphor. So if you say metaphor, raise hand. If you say none, raise hand.
mess everyone up.
And
know it's none.
it is none. You are correct. The goldfish's scales are sparkly stars reflecting the sun.
No,
What is it?
it's none. It's like a gram.
Oh, I hear.
No, it's saying it reflects the sun. It's not saying it looks like it.
It's metaphor.
So are you guys saying metaphor?
Stars do not reflect the sun.
And comparing what two nouns? What do they have in common?
They're both reflective.
Firstly, they're both stars. Shiny. They're shiny.
You got lucky on that one. Yeah, they're not both reflecting and they're not both stars. It's the fact that they're both shiny.
I don't like how the scales.
Stars do not reflect the sun.
Oh, look up there's me not caring. I didn't write it. 6. The truck driver must be as blind as a bat. I hear neither.
Wait, that's
Simile?
Yeah.
We're all agreeing on simile, correct? Okay, yes, yours just gonna keep losing points for yelling at me. I didn't write it. Yelling at me is not gonna help anything. Comparing what two nouns?
Driver and bat.
Driver and bat? I
Yes.
agree. What do they have in common?
They can't see much.
There you go. Apparently they can't see much. And
Truck is just so big that it
the
can't see.
smaller truck is a squashed tomato underneath of it.
Metaphor.
Metaphor.
They're both red.
Wait.
Metaphor?
Yeah.
It's a metaphor. Good job. Comparing what two nouns?
They're trucking to tomato. Truck and tomato.
And what do they have in common?
They're both red.
They're both.
That was a lot of enthusiasm for squishing fruit. And then our last one, the big truck is like a giant beast eating its dinner. And your simile? Speak up faster. And comparing what two nouns?
Truck and beast.
Truck and
You
beast.
said big truck and beast, right?
No.
I had hope for a second you guys would just randomly agree with me and I was gonna get excited. And why are we comparing the two of them?
Big.
They're on, they're on top of the car.
I mean, it looks like a lion who ate like an antelope. All right, fine. Good job. Apparently we did not have much impact learning. You guys did well as a team. Go you guys on that one. That's the end of our, not the end of our fun, just the end of our impact learning for now. So now you can breathe for a second. All right. On papery thing, go to backside. So home children. From this paper, we're going to go to next thing. You're going to go to backside of paper. You're going to go to the spot that says notes. We're going to write down a couple things there to help you guys out. That was a fun sound.
What?
The lady's brain was breaking. Stanza. Is that your way to know what a stanza is?
Yeah.
What's a stanza? I like the confidence on that one. It is not a line in a poem, though. That's a theme. But again, what's important is both of you are coming across very confident, which is what I like. That's called a paragraph, but you're getting closer. That's called rhyme scheme. So if we were reading a book and you had
Like a section of a poem.
there you put them all together.
A
but
group of
paragraph-
lines.
Do we use them in novels? What do we use them in? Paragraph in a poem. So this is where you're going to write that down unless you already have that memorized, and then we're going to make fun of you because you should have said it out loud because these kids were struggling. So you're either writing it down or I get to mock you because these kids suffered because of you. I know. So it should be a paragraph in a poem. Because now that we're moving on to poetry, so we're going to know how long of a poem we're reading. I can't refer to paragraphs anymore. So now I'm going to be referring to a stanza, which is literally just a paragraph, but in a poem. Here's the problem. If we look at our poem, like one of the seven has somewhat to say, normally when you read a book, how do you know where one stanza in or one paragraph ends and the next begins? Yeah, you look for the big indent where it spaces in. On these poems, there aren't any indents. If we look at this one, there's no indent. It goes right there, one big block of words, continuing big block of words. But looking at it, how many stanzas are there? How do you know if there's no indenting? What is
Space.
That's the other thing I'm going to have you write down. The fact that it is separated by a space. If we go into them, know that it goes stanza, space, stanza. You have to look for that big space, know that you're going from one to the next. So this was our easy one, as it went stanza, space, stanza. I'll give you a slightly longer one. Let's see if you can figure out this one. Yes. So caterpillar, if it helps, it's also on the paper in front of you. If it looks it's easier to look there. calling me monkey moving. It's okay. He's playing a fun game. And then, so how many stanzas is this?
6.
Just to help you out, speedy version, you have 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, 6. No indenting the entire way. It is for you. Home children, what you're going to do, this next one's going to be a little bit easier for you because you'll be able to see it better. Because this one's not on your handout. It's called Injust. And it's a poet who likes to sort of mess with people. So on this one, he has like random indents and spacing and stuff like that. So you're going to have, for those of you who are here, you're going to have to like close one eye and like try to, we're going to see if you can figure out how many stanzas do we have in this one. I hear them. When you feel strong, I'm going to have you hold up fingers. If it goes over 10, which is quite possible, you're going to have to sort of figure out how to show me that you go over 10. I see 9. I see a 5. I see a 9. Another 9. I see a scared. All right. And home children, I'm looking at. All right. Let's count. We have space, space, space,
4,
space,
5,
space,
6,
space,
7,
space,
8,
space, 9. So those who did 9, nicely done. So on these, like goat-footed, even though it's indented like halfway across the line, it's just one word, that counts as a stanza by itself. This, whatever screw you think this is, that counts as a stanza by itself. So if we go through and do them, it's just look for space. That's how you can tell where one stanza ends, next begins. All right, now, let me, speaker. The other thing we're going to take a look at is called a speaker in a poem. This is the end of the notes. It's just these two things I want you guys to write down. That is a speaker, but not a poem speaker. A speaker in a poem, the person reading the poem. Again, she was very confident, but incorrect. But it's the confidence is what I like in it. That would be called the reader of the poem. It is also not the person who wrote it. Antoinette, you raised your hand and then you went into scared face. So I'm going to guess that you backed out. So it's not the author, that's the poet. It's not the person reading it, that's the reader. Not bad, yeah. It's going to be the character in the poem talking to us. Not every poem has a speaker. Some poems are just like, I love, no, that'd be still a speaker. Oh, clouds are adorable. Clouds are giant fluffy things. Clouds should be on people's salads. Clouds are everywhere. Clouds make people sneeze. It's a solid poem. I feel like I nailed that one, but that one does not have a speaker in it. It's just a random poem. Mr. BroviCast, are we going to read poems like that? That's a pretty genius level poem. I'm not sure you guys can handle it. All right, so that gives you an idea of what a speaker is. So to help you with speaker, we're going to go for a really short, quick, easy one that should be a fairly fun poem, and then maybe, fingers crossed, have a fun thing. All right, so for this poem, one of the 7 has somewhat to say. I'm going to read it to you, and we're going to sort of break it down and figure it out. You're welcome to write on your paper if you want as we go through. Here's what I want you to look for. One, well, not look for yet. This is a speaker in this poem is going to be a character that you recognize. It is a famous character. So when you figure it out, do not say it out loud. When you're like, I know who it is. It's going to be Abraham Lincoln. Then I'm going to be mean to you and charge you points. Just stay low key. We're going to try and help out others. But most of you should know this speaker if you've existed in the world at some point. Some of you may not, and you're going to get mad and yell at me, but I'm just going to have to deal with that one. So as I read it, here's what I want you to look for. Is the speaker male or female? And find evidence. The speaker's job and find evidence. And then also figure out what the speaker looks like and find evidence. So everything we do, find evidence. Gender, job, what they look like. All right, gender, male or female. One of the 7 has somewhat to say. Remember how it was before she came? The picks and shovels dropped beside the door, the sink piled high, the meals any old time, our jackets where we'd flung them on the floor, the mud tracked in, the clutter on the shelves, None of us shaved or more than halfway clean. Just 7 old bachelors living by ourselves. Those were the days, if you know what I mean. That's the whole first stanza. We'll stop there. So first baby question, is the speaker, the one that's talking to us, male or female?
Male.
Where's your evidence? How do you know it's male?
Everybody knows boys don't do dishes.
Nope. I have a daughter and she is horrible at doing dishes. That is not evidence.
You said none of them shave.
None of us, you might not know this, but sometimes early people, but sometimes that's like, I know, but another good guess, but sometimes girls don't shave either. What's a bachelor?
Unmarried guy.
So bachelor, I would accept as evidence because Graham, probably a bachelor, me, not a bachelor. If I were to declare, I'm a bachelor, Mrs. Me would have something to say when I got home. And then again, if Graham is not a bachelor, we should probably have a discussion. So on that one, bachelor means unmarried guy. And so he says, the fact he refers to himself, oh, how many roommates does he have? Good job. 6 roommates. Is how many total people are living there? 7. So 7 people living there. Him and these other dudes. Oh, what do we know he looks like? Now's where your answer comes in.
He has a beard.
How do we know?
Shave.
There you go.
Very gas.
Saying that he has a beard because he is unshaved. So again, that's where if you don't shave and you're a guy, you're gonna have giant beard looking thing. If you guys would like a better example, I've been growing this out just for this poem. Yes.
In the morning, I was touching by your door. I saw this. I saw.
Scary. I know. And so,
This morning.
and then me too. And I just blinked and it came at me. Job wise, what are the clues as to what his job is?
He's a miner.
He's what?
He's a miner. I know because I watched the movie. To clean the house.
He's
He's
a
a maid.
Is there any evidence in the stanza? Green, you look positive there's evidence.
There's picks and shovels.
I would agree. He talks about picks and shovels that he has. He says the picks and shovels, the mud tracked in. So those would be your clues towards what his job would be. So then lumberjack could work. I heard someone say miner a moment ago. Carpenter could definitely work. I had a kid earlier say grave digger, which sounds like apparently someone's really still stuck on Halloween, but sure. And another kid was like, why would you have a pick if you're a grave digger? And I'm like, I don't know, not the one when I'm digging graves. But if, and someone else tried to convince me it was a shovel salesman. I'm like, I don't really think that's as much of a job as you like, no, people have to buy shovels. I'm like, oh my God, child. And so apparently that is a thing, but I don't think they go door to door trying to knock on your door like, would you like to buy a shovel? Jerry L.
About the grave digging, how long does it have to be for a grave robbing to be archaeological?
I do not know. That's a good question. Jerry L's trying to figure out how quickly he can break the law. And then with organization, what do we find out about how they run their house?
Very dirty.
Where's your evidence?
The mud is trapped in, and there's clutter.
Sink piled high, mud I would take,
Clutter on the shelves.
clutter on the shelves. Here's my messy bit. Putting the jackets on the floor. And then, ooh, what is it that makes them unhappy? A woman. So you've got 7 bachelors all hanging out, having fun. And then some woman shows up, and apparently things go downhill. Women, but don't worry, it gets worse. It's like a man, but different. She scrubs, she sweeps, she even dusts the ceilings. She's made us build a tool shed for our stuff. Dinners at 8, table settings 4. One. If I weren't afraid I'd hurt her feelings, I'd move until we get her married off. And this can gradually slip back to normal. So again, what you say is that that's bothering them? A woman. Now, not just the fact that she exists. Rose, like, oh, women. But specifically, what is woman doing? Now, she does extreme cleaning because it's not like she's just going around like dusting glasses. But it said that she goes so far as to
Dusting the ceiling.
yeah, I'm gonna go ceiling dusting might be a bit on the extreme clean. And the fact she goes all the way from there, and the fact that the other thing she does is not quite as extreme. She's like, we have to dinner's at 8. That seems pretty late. I didn't mean to rhyme.
That's not late.
And making to build the tool shed. There's the cleaning. Then, from all of this, hopefully that is enough clues to help you figure out who the speaker, let's back up. Not just who the speaker is. Let's go with first step. Who's the girl? Snow White, from the movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So then, if you look at poem, the fact that there's 7 of them, the picks and shovels, and the fact that she shows up and then goes where was supposed to be Snow White, and then the 7 of them are going to be the, specifically going from the tone of the poem, we can even figure out which of the 7 dwarfs. Why do you say grumpy? And so this is where you have to go off the tone of the poem, and the tone of the poem gives you the idea that it's grumpy because he comes across as basically grumpy as opposed to like sleepy or anything like that. Well, it's like right there in his name. Ooh, here's my quiz level question for you. In the poem, can you find me evidence to prove whether he hates the girl or doesn't hate the girl? Hang on, find me evidence, not just you yelling at me. Kasopa? I thought you were giving me evidence there. Okay, where's your evidence that he hates her? It does mean he's upset. I'm not sure that qualifies as hate. Hang on, Antoinette. You look ready to go, Antoinette.
He hates her because he wants to get her married off so that way she leaves and never comes back.
So Antoinette says hates her. Sorry, you made Mina screech. Mina, why was that screech worthy? She says no offense, but you be wrong. Why? Sorry, Antoinette, she was right. Still no hatred. And so, yeah, the fact that it says I don't want to hurt her feelings, that would be the whole does not actually hate her. If you do want to hurt someone's feelings, then you usually hate them. But if you're like, you don't want to hurt their, usually means you like, no, he does hate something. If it's not her, what does he hate? The cleaning. Nicely done. Now, I get to my fun thing real quick. Those of you who are watching the recording, you're out of luck. You don't get the fun things. I'm going to stop it for you guys. Stop recording.